Apple has access to the most advanced chip manufacturing on Earth. And yet, for its next flagship Mac chip, the M6, Apple is reportedly walking away from TSMC's newest 2-nanometer process. Not because it can't use it, but because it doesn't want to. Today, we're breaking down why Apple is choosing architecture over raw manufacturing, why Qualcomm and MediaTek might go the opposite direction, and what this decision quietly tells us about the future of Apple Silicon. Reports suggest Apple's upcoming M6 chip, expected to power a redesigned OLED MacBook Pro, will stick with TSMC's N2 process instead of jumping to the newer N2P node. At first glance, this sounds backward. N2P is newer. N2P is faster. N2P is what rivals are chasing. So why would Apple not take the upgrade? To understand that, we need to zoom out and look at how Apple actually wins in silicon. Let's get something clear. The jump from N2 to N2P is not a revolution. At the same power level, N2P delivers roughly a 5% performance uplift. That's it. No massive efficiency leap, no dramatic power savings. What does change? Higher wafer costs, tighter early-stage supply, more competition for capacity. For most chip makers, that 5% is worth chasing. For Apple, it might not be. Apple doesn't win by brute force. It wins by design discipline. Look at the A19 Pro. Its efficiency cores were re-architected, not overclocked, delivering up to 29% performance improvement with virtually no extra power draw. That's not manufacturing. That's engineering culture. Qualcomm and MediaTek often beat Apple in raw multi-core numbers, but only by pushing significantly higher power consumption. Apple plays a different game, and the M6 appears to follow that same philosophy. There's another angle here, one Wall Street understands very well: cost and availability. Apple has reportedly secured over half of TSMC's initial N2 capacity. That gives Apple stable supply, predictable yields, and better margins. Jumping to N2P early would mean paying more per wafer, fighting for limited capacity, and accepting early node inefficiencies. For a company shipping millions of Macs, that's unnecessary risk. If you want proof, Apple doesn't need bleeding-edge nodes. Look at the M5. Apple made its base M5 chip only slightly slower than the workstation class M1 Ultra. Same core counts, similar configurations, one generation apart. That's not manufacturing magic, that's architectural mastery. The M6 is expected to do the same, not by shrinking transistors, but by rethinking how they're used. Reports suggest Qualcomm and MediaTek will move to N2P. Why? Because higher clock speeds help them compete, especially in headline benchmarks. But benchmarks aren't battery life. Benchmarks aren't thermals. Benchmarks aren't real-world Mac workloads. Apple doesn't chase charts, it chases experience. So what does this actually mean? For users, expect longer battery life, better sustained performance, and tighter integration, not flashy spec bumps. For investors, this is classic Apple: margin protection, supply chain control, long-term scalability. Apple isn't falling behind, it's choosing when to move, not reacting to competitors. Skipping the newest process doesn't mean losing the race. Sometimes, it means you're confident enough to run your own. Do you think Apple is right to prioritize architecture over manufacturing? Or is this the first sign of pressure from rivals? Drop your take below.